Okay, today we're going to be doing lesson 5-6, two-digit quotients. You can find this on page 132 in your math book. So make sure you label a fresh notebook page with this title. And you already know how to divide by two-digit divisors when the quotient is a one-digit number. Today you will do similar problems when the quotient is a two-digit number. So this is the question today that I would like you to copy in your spiral. I'm making my own factory, and Clamor's factory is going to ship 814 stuffed animals. Each of the packing boxes will hold 18 stuffed animals. So how many boxes are needed, and how many boxes will be filled? So let's highlight what we need. What we know. We know that my factory is going to ship 814 stuffed animals, and each packaging box will hold 18 stuffed animals. But I want you to look down here and notice that we are answering two questions, so we should have two different answers for this one problem. So let's focus on this first question. How many boxes are needed? So in order to do that, we obviously need to do division, and we need to do 18 divided into 814. So let's go ahead and write that out. So I'm going to write out 18 divided by 814. And you are not used to seeing this. You are used to seeing only one number over here. And now there is a two-digit number. But you do the division problem the exact same way as we did when we only had one number over here. So the first thing you do is, you ask yourself, how many times does 18 go into 81? So how many times does it go into 81? Well, I am not exactly sure, so I need to figure out my multiples of 18. So over here, I figured out that my multiples of 18 are 18, 36, 54, 72, and 90. Which one of those are closest to 81 but not over 81? 72. So we need to use this problem right here. So we say 18 can go into 81 4 times. And the 4 has got to go over the 1 because we didn't use any of this part of the problem yet. We only used the 81. So 4 times 18, we said, is 72. Okay, we need to subtract. 81 minus 72, go ahead and try that. Well, I have to borrow, so I change this to a 7, and I change this one to an 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. 7 minus 7 is 0. Next thing I need to do is drop down that 4. So drop down the 4. Now I have to ask myself, how many times does 18 go into 94? Well, if I saved my work over here, I know that 18 times 5 is 90, so that's probably as close as I'm going to get, because if I do 18 times 6, I'm going to go over 94. Because 18 times 6 is 108. So we need to use this problem now. So 18 can go into 94 5 times. 5 times 18, we said, is 90. 94 minus 90, 4. We have nothing left to drop down over here, so we know this is our remainder. So our answer will be 45 remainder 4. So I need to go back to my problem because remember I have two questions that I'm answering. The first question is, how many boxes are needed? Well, if I have 45 remainder 4, we can't just leave these 4 left out. We have to ship those stuffed animals. So how many boxes will I need? Well, I have to round up. So I would need 46 boxes. The second part of my question asks, how many boxes will be filled? Well, we know that 45 is our whole number. 45 boxes will be filled. So 45 boxes are filled completely up, and these 4 will just go in that extra box. So when you're answering a 2-part question, or a question that has 2 questions, you need to make sure you're giving me both of those answers. So I would like you to copy this problem down. 45 divided into 981. Okay, so the first problem that I would like you to try in your spiral is going to be 45 divided by 981. So ask yourself, where do you start? Well, we cannot just start with the 4 or the 5. We have to start with the whole number of 45. And we ask ourselves, how many times can 45 go into 98? Well, if we come down here and write 45 times 1, we know that's 45. And so we can try to go bigger. 45 times 2, which would give us 90. And that's probably as close as we're going to get to 98. Okay, so this is as close as we're going to get. And so we're going to say 45 goes into 98 2 times. 2 times 45 is 90. So 2 times 45 is 90. 98 minus 90 just gives us 8. What do we do next? Drop down that 1. 81. You like my KU colors right here? Lovely. Okay, so 45, how many times does it go into 81? Well, we know that 45 times 2 is 90. Well, that's too big. So we just have to do it 1 time. 1 times 45 is 45. We have to subtract. So 81 minus 45, we need to borrow. So change this to a 7, change this to 11. 11 minus 5 is 6. 7 minus 4 is 3. So we have nothing left to drop down, and so our answer will be 21, remainder 36. Okay, so the second problem I would like you to try is, okay, so we have 26 divided into 784. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how many times does 26 go into 78? I have no idea, so I need to write that out. So let's just start with 26 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12, 4, and 5. So that's too little. We have to go up 1. So let's do 26 times 3. Okay, so now I did 26 times 3 over here, which actually gives us 78. So 26 can go into 78 3 whole times. 3 times 26 is 78. 78 minus 78 is 0. Next step would be to drop down the 4. Okay, now we have to ask ourselves, can 26 go into 4? It cannot. So 0 times 26 is 0. Do our subtraction, we get 4. So that will be our remainder. So our answer should be 30 remainder 4. Okay, so I'm going to give you a word problem because those kind of trick some of you, but we're doing the exact same thing. We're dividing 2 numbers, and one number is a 2-digit number and the other one is a 3-digit number. So my question to you is, Sophie bought 710 cats. She wanted to place the cats into 63 homes. How many cats will go in each home? How many cats will have to be placed at Sophie's home until they are adopted? So we need to look at what we know. Sophie has 710 cats, which is quite possible, and she wants to place the cats into 63 homes. So our first question asks us, how many cats will go into each home? So let's do our division problem. We have got to do Sophie's 710 cats divided into 63 different homes. So what's your first step? What do you ask yourself? 63 goes into what? 7, 71, or 710? What do you ask yourself? Yes, 63 goes into 71 1 time. Because 1 times 63 is 63. I have to do 71 minus 63. Go ahead and do that. You get 8. I have to then drop down my 0. How many times does 63 go into 80? just once. 1 times 63 is 63. Please do 80 minus 63. And we get 17. We have nothing left to drop down over here. Nothing's over there. So we have 11 remainder 17. So this is our answer. So if we go back to look at our question, the first question is, how many cats will go to each home? Well, we know for sure 11 cats will go to each home. We have 17 cats that are left over that can't fit into those 63 homes. So our second question is, how many cats will have to be placed at Sophie's home until they are adopted? 17. So 11 cats are placed at each home, and 17 cats are hanging out at Sophie's house until they are adopted. 7 cats at Sophie's. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the problems that I would like you to do. The last thing that I do want to show you is if you look at page 132, and if you see number 19, it's written like this: 4,328 divided by 93. Well, you have to know how to write that to set it up correctly in order to solve it. So remember, the first number is the number that goes in the house, and the last number is the number that goes on the outside of the house. That is just a quick reminder for you. Okay, so the ones that I want you to do individually, please. On page 132 is numbers 20, 21, and 22. Those are all the division problems we just tried. And then on page 133, I want you to try numbers 24 and 29, which are kind of word problems, but kind of not. So just go ahead and give those a shot. And today I want you to do something different. When you look at the correct answers that I give you, so if this is your paper that you're writing, your spiral notebook, and here's all of your answers. You think answer 1 is A, you think answer 2 is B, and answer 3 will make it a K. Okay, when I go through the correct answers on your piece of paper that you did your work on, I want you to either check them with a star that it's right, or a slash or an X that it's wrong. So star if it's right, slash or X if it's wrong. That way you know what to bring to small group to let me know quickly which one you missed or which one you had trouble with. So please go ahead and try those, and I will have the answers up for you to grade your work. Please be honest. Thank you.
I'm out of here.
Okay.
I'm going to a show.
A what?
A show.
What kind of show?